G'day friends, Andy here. Today's lesson is called the GuitarGenius.com 25 top chords. Broadly speaking, there's three types of chords: a major chord, a minor chord and a 7 chord. And there's also two chord types really that contain either open strings, like a G has a couple of open strings, or the type that has a finger that's barring across two or more strings, called a bar chord. And these ones are usually movable. Best way to do this lesson is probably to go to the website, download the free PDF at guitargenius.com 053, print it out, and you can reference the PDF while you have a look at the rest of the lesson. Okay, the first chord at the top left hand corner of the PDF is the A major chord, which is played with the first finger over the fourth and third strings, the second finger over the second string there. Now you're playing 5 strings in this one. People play them other ways, like with the 3 fingers on there, or with the first finger on the third string. I play it that way. It just seems to be a little more versatile, I'd say. Moving along the sheet to the right hand side of that is the A minor chord. First finger on the second string, second finger on the fourth string, and third finger on the third string. Playing 5 strings again. Moving to the right of that, we have the A7 chord. Playing 5 strings again for an A chord, so we've got the A note in the bass. And I've written this with the fingers first and second finger. Reason being, it just makes it easier to move from, say, E minor to A7 into a D, because we're always using the first and second fingers. Okay, next chord we've got the B major chord, which is a bar chord. It's a different kind of bar chord because we have the third finger that's doing the barring over 3 strings. In this case, over the second string, third string and fourth string. The first finger is there on the 5th string on the 2nd fret. Now the trick to this chord, and with all chords really, is getting the fingers close to the frets, close to the fret closest to yourself. Let's see, if we moved it backward it wouldn't sound so good, so we move it forward and it's sounding pretty good. The chord next to that is the B minor chord. Really we're just lowering that one note to there, but we've got a few finger changes that we have to do. So the first finger is barring those 5 strings there. The top of the first finger is actually touching the bottom of that 6th string there. So when you hit it, it doesn't really make much of a sound. Reason being, when you're playing, when you're doing a lot of strumming, you are going to accidentally hit that 6th string now and again, and you don't want it to sound so much. Moving along, we've got the B7 chord. Which sounds something like that. The thing to note about barring, have a look at my finger there, it actually looks curved. A lot of people see the bar on a page and the way it's printed out, it looks like you'd have a straight finger, but in reality it is actually curved and you're kind of using that part of the finger on the strings. So there's the B7 chord. Okay, the next chord is the C major chord. Very common and popular chord. So first finger, second string, second finger on the 4th string and third finger on the 5th string. Strumming from the 5th string because that makes that lowest yellow note a C. In this chart all the yellow notes are giving you the chord name. Like the yellow one on the bottom there that has the third finger is a C note. The one with the first finger is also yellow and also a C note. So we've got 2 C notes in that C major chord. The next chord is a C minor chord, which is actually like exactly the same as a B minor chord and moved up 1 fret. And that's really why bar chords are so versatile, because if you do it there you've got a B minor chord, if you do it there you've got a C minor chord. Move it up 2, you've got a D minor chord. After C minor we have a C7 chord, which is really a C major with your 4th finger put on the 3rd string there, on the 3rd fret. Still strumming from the 5th string there to get that low C note. The next chord is the D major chord. First finger there, 2nd there, and 3rd there. Playing 4 strings. Next one is the D minor chord. And after that we have the D7. First finger there on the 2nd string, 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 3rd finger on the 1st string. Okay, moving to the next column again, we have an E major chord, which is played using all 6 strings. First finger on the 3rd string, 2nd on the 5th, and 3rd on the 4th string. The next chord in the sequence is E minor, which I'm using the 1st and 2nd fingers for this one. Although you do have the opportunity to use the 3rd and the 4th. It sometimes depends on which chord you're going to play next. Like if I'm going to play an E minor and then say an E major, not that common, but it does happen sometimes, you might use that fingering. But say from an E minor to a B minor, that might be a better fingering. Next chord is an E7, which is a lot like an E major, but with that 3rd finger taken out. Another way to play an E7 is to have that 4th finger on the 2nd string on the 3rd fret. The next chord is another bar chord, the F major chord. Now this one has a bar across 6 strings, and being down next to the nut, it's probably the hardest bar chord to do. Unfortunately, it's also the first bar chord that a lot of us should do, because it makes it a lot easier than doing that F. So, first finger over the 6 strings, see it's kind of bent. And one of the secrets when teaching yourself this chord is to be able to make all 6 strings sound good just with the bar, and then putting those extra ones on as a bonus. Next one, F minor, just take your 2nd finger off. And the next one's an F7, looks a lot like the E7, moved up 1 fret. The next chord's a G major, one of the very common chords of course. Sounds like my D string's gone out of tune a little. Just tune it up. Okay. G major. With this G major I've got the 3rd and 4th finger across those top 2 strings there. Another G major would be just having the 3rd finger up there. I've done this G major on this sheet because it goes really well with chords like a C add 9, which also have the 3rd and 4th finger on those top 2 strings. Okay, next chord is a G minor. It's a bar chord like so. So exactly the same as the F minor, moved up 2 frets. The next chord's a G7, which is exactly like an F7 moved up. Sorry. Well, you could do a G7 as a bar chord. We'll do the G7 as an open chord. And the next chord is a C add 9, a lot like a G major, but of course with the 2 fingers going down a string set. Or up a string set. In guitar, it's funny that that's up because that's up in pitch. Okay, next chord's an E minor 7 chord. Very common, common progressions these days: G, C add 9, E minor 7, D sus 4, A7 sus, and indeed the next chord is an A7 sus, which has these strings in it. Now, don't forget, of course, that the secret of playing these chords well is getting all of your fingers as close as you can to the fret closest to you. So if it says to put the finger there, get it close to the fret without going over, because the further you go back, the worse it will sound. And the last chord is the D sus chord, also called the D sus 4 chord. Playing 4 strings. And there you have it.